And that was Big Stan from Hudson Mohawk from his album Cry Sugar. I believe it was released in 2020 or 2021. I can't remember which one I'm correct on. It was released under Warp Records. And then you also heard Fate Brought Us Together, a fantastic little flamenco song from the collective archival record label Death Is Not the End of Us. I've been getting into their discography a lot recently, and I'm very much enjoying they had a series on like big band jazz, like between the period between the First World War and the Second World War. Very good British jazz. But yeah, that's all I want to say about that. Good afternoon, listeners of Coffee Noise. I'm your host, DJ Marlin, and if you can't believe it, it's Tuesday once again. How are we doing out there, listeners? Today it is the 16th of April, 2024. It's only a few more weeks before the end of the semester, which I am both looking forward to and not looking forward to because I have a lot of work to do. I have to do two papers, another presentation, and I think two more exams. So that's fun. I'm going to be pretty busy for the next few weeks, and then on the weekends, I have my second job. You know what? It's a lot of work, but uh, am I making it through? That's up for debate. I would like to think that I am, but am I really? Hmm. I'm just gonna say that I am to what's the word? Make me feel better. That sounds good. Anyways, let's get a quick look at the weather right now. Right now in the city of Edinburgh, it is 95 degrees. We had a low of 75 degrees. The rest of this week, we're looking around in the low to mid 90s with the weekend. Sunday, Monday, we're looking going into the 80s and the 70s, and then back up into the 80s and then 90s. So I know spring just started last month, but I guess we're already in that summer weather. So I don't know. I mean, the semester's almost over, so I guess summer weather's better than, rainy weather, I guess. I mean, I would have personally liked a nice, cooler temperatures, somewhere between the mid to low 70s, maybe the very low 80s, but I guess I can't get that, which kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. But what can you do about that? You can't really do anything about that. Anyways, listeners, before we get into the next track, we're gonna be playing some Ryuichi Sakamoto. I decided to look over the the top albums so far this year, come from the website Rate Your Music, of which I am a supporter of. I've been using that website for has it already been 3 years? I think it's already been no, it's gonna be 4 years since I used the web since I started using Rate Your Music in May. Wow, that's 4 years of my life gone. Does that make me feel old? I'd rather not because I'm only 21. Anyways, let's look at the top albums so far this year. Number one, we have Cindy Lee with her album Diamond Jollibee. The second album of the year, we have Adrian Lenker with her album Bright Future. Right now, ranking at number three, which I'm still surprised I have yet to check it out, is the new Vampire Weekend album. Only God Was Above Us. Let's see anything else I want to look into here. Number 10, we have the Arm& Hammer album. And then number 11, we have the new Smile album, Wall of Eyes. I mean, if you're into Radiohead, Thom Yorke, I think he's one of the greatest living musicians of our generation. Does that make me sound a bit pretentious? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Anyways, listeners, we're going to get into some Ryuichi Sakamoto. This is from his album of last year, which was sadly his last album. This is 2021-03-10. Let's get into it. That was the track 2021-03-10, taken from the 2023 album 12, released in March. That was his final album. I think like after maybe a month or so later, he passed away. It's hauntingly beautiful. I don't really know how to describe it. It's one of those very it's difficult to explain it when there's people who probably just don't listen to drone or ambient music in general. I'm personally a very big fan of that genres and the subgenres. I mean, I was listening over the weekend to a lot of what's it called, lowercase music, which is like early or not even early, maybe like mid work Steve Roden and some online musicians. So it's like very interesting. But yeah, Ryuichi Sakamoto, obviously he was a founding member of the Japanese band Yellow Magic Orchestra, basically like Japan's version of the German band Kraftwerks, which yeah, I think there's only one remaining living member. I think oh, what's his name? Hasumi. I can't remember his name. But yeah, I've been trying to get more into like the whole Japanese city pop scene that was very popular within the 1970s, 1980s, bit into the 1990s, but then it kind of already warped into more like adult contemporary music, which still really good, like, especially that Japanese sophisticated city pop music. Oh man, it's really good. It reminds you a lot of the when city pop used to actually I wouldn't say used to actually be good because it still is good, but you don't hear it as much. It's kind of a genre, kind of like have its own what's the word? Separate niche. I think that would be the right word. But yeah, I mean, there's that album from the UK. What's it called? It's from the band The Blue Nile. Hats from 1989. If you need like introduction to sophisticated city pop, I think that album is it's perfect. For me, it's a perfect 5 out of 5 album. So is this album by Ryuichi Sakamoto. What was I doing to tie this all together? Oh yeah. So yeah, Ryuichi Sakamoto. I mean, he did a lot of music works. He was an actor. He did soundtracks. I think one of my favorite films he soundtracked for was Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. That was a good film. And then he was in a documentary which I saw, I think maybe like last week or the week before that. Coda, which was like I think it was recorded maybe 2016 to 2017, if I'm correct. It's a really good movie. It's on Mubi, Mubi. I use that a lot. I've been using that on the Criterion channel, which is yeah. I'm starting to become a film bro, which is kind of cool, I guess. Does that make me pretentious? Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I'm not pretentious. I am. When it comes to music, close to 3,000 ratings online, only 34 albums made a perfect 5 out of 5 for me. So maybe I should be less harsh on music and films. What about on books though? I think when they come back to that, once we get into the next track, after the next track, when we come back from the break, this next track comes from the vaporwave artist Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night. I have absolutely no way to actually pronounce the title of the track because it's in some gibberish. That's the best I can describe it. Let's just get into it. This is some vaporwave, or what some would say slush wave. God, I love these weird internet genre names. And we are back. It is 2:31 in the afternoon, the second half of the show. I'm very much online for most of the time. Some would say I am chronically online. And they're probably right. I do often spend my time just browsing like online forums and like whatever like that. I have nothing against TikTok. I really don't care. So what? The one thing I'm going to disagree with, I think most people, maybe mostly in the English lit department, will understand with this. Book Talk was a mistake for humanity. That's it. Um, I say this, and I have nothing against reading. I think it is good for people, especially kids and teenagers, to read. I mean, I'm only what I'm Gen Z, only 21, but you look at the new generation, Gen Alpha, they're like always on their phones, and then I get that. If little Timmy and Tommy wants to see, I don't know, Bluey, which is still a good show, let them. But like let the kids read or something. But I feel like book talk, it's not really you're reading, but it's less like you're reading and you're more just looking at words on a page. There's no engagement with that. Now, I'm not saying there's a correct manner to read, I'm not that pretentious in that sense, but like, it's less about engaging with the text in however manner you want to engage with it, and more on, hey, look at me. I read X amount of books in X amount of days. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like it. It's one of those things genuinely don't like it. And obviously, you can be on YouTube. You can see a bunch of opinion pieces on why book talk is. I think one person put it a grave sin to humanity, and I am inclined to believe them. Um, my main point is with there's no real depth to the books that are pushed out. There's nothing really interesting or something you can really grasp onto it. Like once you read one, you basically read them all. They follow the same story formula. There's nothing interesting. They're boring. And I have nothing against reading dumb books for fun. I've read, I don't know, what's that book called? Not The Outsiders. Something with the flies. I forgot the name of the book. Lord of the Flies. I think that's the name of that. That's a good book, but it's a dumb book. It's a kid's book, and I have nothing against that. But you see people on Book Talk. They're like mid 20s to late 30s. Like, oh come on, read an actual book for once. I don't know, pick up something engaging. Like, we get it. You're in your late 20s. And you're still reading books for an audience that's geared towards late teens, early 20s. Like, come on, it read something different and read something good. It's not that hard. And you know what? Here's a good thing here. And there's an amazing place you can go to get books and actually read something. It's called a library. Go to your local library. Support your local library as well. I still need to what's it called? Get my library card again from the Harlingen Public Library because reading is fun and well, not really for me because I had to read a lot for my philosophy degree, but you know what? It is what it is. Anyways, let's go into some slowcore. This is the Australian slowcore band Blue Tile Lounge. I think this album came out in the early 90s, lowercase. This is The Way and the Sea. Blue Tile Lounge is probably like one of the first bands I think of when talking about 90s slowcore. I can see how they definitely have an influence on today's modern slowcore, especially of what was that band? They had an album last year. I think it was I forgot the name of the album, but the band's called Death Crash. It's like a UK slowcore act. You definitely hear the similarities, and yeah, I think slowcore is a beautiful genre. It's also one of the most difficult genres to play because everyone has to play at a certain tempo. It's extremely slow. I mean, this song on my end, it sings around 70 something beats per minute, so that's somewhat slow. And you got other slowcore bands like think not Radiohead, Red House Painters, Acetone, the Vamp Hell was more of an emo rock, but they did incorporate some slowcore. What's that band from New York? Codeine. Codeine's like one of the better New York-based slowcore acts in the '90s. Extremely slow. I think I saw a video of some slowcore band that was going around 40 beats per minute, and that was like extremely slow. It's almost like I'm about to fall asleep if this goes any slower. And some people would think, oh, why even make it so slow? It just sounds boring, uninteresting, yada yada yada, all this whatnot. I think it just gives the track a bit more of like a raw feel to it, like sounding wise, emotionally raw, and I personally find that as a very attractive feature of slowcore. And maybe slowcore isn't for everyone's cup of tea, but you know what? It is for me. As long as you don't read book talk books, I'm cool with you. But yeah, going back for my hatred for book talk, not books. I love books. Book talk. Like I said, it's so boring, and it's boring, and yet it makes a lot of money, and that's what scares me. We're gonna be having a bunch of publishers just publishing a bunch of books that are just objectively bad, but they make money. It's like, oh, come on, guys. Like, is it so hard to write something, I don't know, thought provoking? I don't know. There's a bunch of writers who do that still, and I don't see them making big bucks. Am I a bit salty? You know what? I'll accept that. Maybe I am just being a bit too salty and a bit too harsh. I am tired. I woke up around maybe 7:20 in the morning, took a quick shower. All I had today to eat was a protein shake and a Milky Way bar. That's what I'm running on right now, and I have a couple more hours before my 7:55 class. So that's always fun. But you know what? I do it for I don't know what I do this for, to be honest. Anyways, let's get into the last two tracks of today. The first track's gonna be "Misty Morning" by Travis Brutzer. Decided to go for more of like an indie rock sound, indie pop sound, and then we're gonna finish it off with "A Love Theme Farewell" by the band Shoo Shoo from the I believe 2018 album "The Music of Twin Peaks," something like that. I don't know. Let's just get into the music right now. Here's some indie pop, indie rock, jangle pop. I don't know how you want to describe this. The internet makes a lot of genre names. Alright, listeners, and we are back. It is 2:59, so I'm gonna wrap this up right now. As always, this week's playlist will be available on Apple Music and Spotify and posted on Instagram. You can follow me there on Watford2003. And let's see, final thoughts of the day. Boiled fish. Deep fried, even. That's gonna wrap it up for today. You listen to Coffee Notes DJ Marlin on Vakila Radio, the Valley's only student station. Bye bye.